First impressions, I was really surprised that I was able to talk to her on the phone. I was really impressed with that because I just thought, wow, they're going to put me straight through to Claudie. And I spoke to her about my son Ryan, who has a lot of sensory issues, and then also about my son Cole, who has Down syndrome, and talked about having them both go through the program, and I was really impressed with her. Ryan, just as he's growing up, has always had anxiety, hasn't wanted to do things that typical kids like to do. We had a couple of vacations that we had to cut short. One of the most difficult ones was going down to San Diego, and we thought, oh, we'll go to SeaWorld, we'll see Shamu, Ryan will love it. And he just fell apart and left in tears. And we thought, well, how could this be? How could somebody not want to go to SeaWorld? What child wouldn't want to go to SeaWorld? Family events, as far as family that we have, my husband has a really large family. When we all get together, there's 22 of us. And even though he's grown up with all his cousins and his aunts and uncles and grandparents, pretty much every family event we would ever go to, Ryan would be in the car crying for about 15, 20 minutes, even up until the age of 7 years old, where I'd have to, one family event at Easter, I had to literally put him on my lap and rock him for about 15 minutes just to calm him down. But then once he got there, you know, he would finally calm down. But there were just many different situations that were very difficult for Ryan. We didn't know why. Just anxiety as he's gotten older has gotten worse. We took him to different doctors, different occupational therapists, and they basically said that he has severe sensory integration dysfunction, which results in a high level of anxiety because he cannot control his sensory issues, which then result in obsessive compulsive behavior for him. So it was just this long string of diagnoses. We had him in occupational for about 1.5 years. Our whole house was like a gymnasium. We had a bouncy house in this room, which my husband thought was ridiculous. Tire swings, skin brushing, you name it. We tried it, and none of it helped. None of it helped. We spent literally thousands and thousands of dollars because most of the things that we were doing for him were not covered by insurance, and I just was at a loss. I was very much against trying any medication for him because in the research that I've done, there just haven't been a whole lot of studies on different antidepressant medications for children. And the only one that's been really studied that I was able to find out was Prozac. And then finally, after about 1.5 years of trying everything but medication, we did decide to put Ryan on some medication, which had devastating results for him. It was the side effects far outweighed any benefits that he ever got from it. So he was having fits of rage, tics, vocal tics, motor tics. His first grade teacher thought that he had Tourette syndrome. He would bite the collars of his shirts, completely separating them from the rest of the shirt. His shirts would just be shredded by the end of the day. There were probably about 3 or 4 months where I literally had to go out and just buy 7 new shirts a week because he'd go through a new shirt every day, sometimes twice. He was having terrible nightmares, not able to sleep, wetting the bed 2 or 3 times a night, too afraid to get out of bed to go to the bathroom, and he would go to the bathroom in his closet, throwing himself against walls, furniture. It was awful. It was really awful. MAPS 1, he was not very responsive. Ryan has never been really cooperative, and so trying to get him to cooperate to do the games was really difficult in the beginning, but we just stuck with it. And after, I would say, about 2 weeks, first couple of weeks were really rough, and then it all started to settle down, and he started to become happier, more easygoing about doing the games, and became excited about it. And as time went on, if we were rushing out the door to go to school and we didn't have time to do all the games, he would really push me and say, Mom, no, we have to do it. So he would come to me and say, you know, we need to do maps. And even if he woke up having a bad morning, as soon as he would do the games, it was like a light went on. It was absolutely amazing. There was absolutely no doubt that it made a profound difference for him on a daily basis, as far as, you know, his demeanor, his mood, his body language, everything. And just as soon as he did that, it was just, his energy level would go up. Really excited to go off to school. It was just, my husband and I would just look at each other and say, oh my God, this is unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Okay.
Ryan.
What?
What's your favorite dish?
Oh,
I'll get it.
Can I get it?
oh, okay, bring this with you. Hold that.
Yeah.
Oh, did it get undone? Okay. Just tell them we'll call them right back. Sorry. I keep hearing it too. Is it? Okay.
So,
That's okay. It'll go to voicemail. It's okay. Thanks, sir.
my mom can't talk right now.
Can you tell her I'll call her back in a few minutes?
She'll call you back, okay?
He doesn't talk about dying anymore, and it used to be a daily thing. And no matter what I told him, he'd be getting ready to go to bed. I'm going to die. I know I'm going to die. And he doesn't do that anymore. Bedtime used to be an absolute nightmare. It would take us a good 45 minutes to get him down to bed. Every single thing we would ask him to do was a full-blown battle. Brushing his teeth, taking a shower or a bath, getting changed clothes. He would just basically wear the clothes that he wore for the day and then just change the next morning and beg me to just be able to wear the same clothes. He doesn't do any of that anymore. He goes upstairs to bed willingly. He has a routine, brushes his teeth, we read stories. It's like he's just happier in his own skin. He just is not, his whole facial expression has changed. Now, if I just happen to glance over at him, he has a happy face, a happy demeanor, and usually it used to just be a scowl all the time. So he's really opening up at school. His teacher said that he's seeking out other children on the playground. At the beginning of the school year, when he had just started MAPS, he used to tell his teacher that he had no friends and that he didn't like recess because he had no one to play with. And now he's playing handball with other kids. He's found buddies at school to play with. He never is alone anymore at recess or at lunch. And all the kids love him. They all really like him a lot. Another thing that's changed that I talked about in my letter is that he went trick-or-treating for the first time. We've gotten him a costume every year, but he's never been able to make it past the house next door without just falling apart from the feeling of the costume. I guess the fear of all the scary costumes. And this year he trick-or-treated on the whole street. So that family members have made many comments. My sister-in-law saw Ryan a couple of months ago. He went horseback riding, and she said he spoke more to her in that day than he has since he was born. She had a full conversation with him. Our whole family doesn't know about MAPS. We haven't really talked too much about it. And they have come up to me and said, and to my husband, Damien, saying, wow, we've really noticed a difference with Ryan. He just seems so much happier and so much more comfortable. And so that's really exciting.